Every question that you're about to see on today's NFL mailbag comes to us during our live chat. So if you want to be a part of these mailbags and join the most interactive YouTube channel out there, hit that big red button and subscribe to Chat Sports today. Let's go to Burnin Spades with Davis and ? Who would be the best two-headed monster at running back and tight end for Atlanta in the draft and rest of free agency? At tight end, Pitts and Hurst are your two best options there as it relates to the tight end position. At running back, if Najee Harris falls, him and whoever. For what Arthur Smith wants to do on offense, even though I have Travis Etienne higher, I think Najee Harris is a fantastic fit for the Arthur Smith-style offense. JP the God, do you like Zaven Collins to the Cowboys if they move down? Trading down always makes me feel better. I was excited to watch Zaven Collins. I'm like, this guy had great production. He's so big, so fast. He did test well. But when I got to the film, I was very underwhelmed. Because as a 3-3-5 outside linebacker, he was not an edge rusher. And when he was asked to fit runs and fill gaps, he was not nearly as good as he should be for someone of his size. So, honestly, he is my number 5 linebacker. There will be a better guy on the board, and I would not like it all that much. But trading down makes things easier. From Sam Lowe, I'm from the UK. Love you guys. Shout out. Thank you very much, Sam. We appreciate our European friends watching the show. From Izzy World, which draft prospect do you think could be taken in the first round that is not a first-round talent? So, this is a good topic here. And this is pretty on par with most of the NFL, too. There are not 32 first-round grades. Teams give out like maybe half of that as a pure first-round talent. That's the way that their grading systems work. That's the way mine work as well. So there are going to be a lot of players who go in round 1 that aren't your true first-round grades on teams' draft board, even though they'll boost it up later. The latest graded guy that I think that could go in round 1, I could see someone like Jason Owe or a Tyson Campbell sneak into round 1, and I just did not like those guys as much as I hoped I was going to. From STEVIEJ, should Denver trade up for Trey Lance or Justin Fields? I say yes. Curious what Producer Sam says, but I say yes. Producer Sam, behind the mic, or behind the screen, on the mic, what do you have to say?
My gut tells me yes, as long as we're not giving up a ton of assets down the line, especially day 1, day 2 picks. Those are the ones that I value a lot. But, for the right price, I think if you have a chance to upgrade at the position, you do what you can.
I think you toss the price out the window and go get Fields or Lance. I love both of those prospects there. Drew Lock has not been that great, so because of that, I think Denver should. And if you can get to like maybe 7 with Detroit, I think that'd be like the ideal trade partner. Or even maybe Miami wants to move down, but I think Detroit might make the most sense there. That is the route I would prefer to go. If I were Denver and knowing I don't have that many needs on my roster and I can move up without giving up all of my future first-round picks, that is the route I would go. Now, as it relates to the top quarterbacks in this year's NFL draft, who do you think is the best of this foursome? Of course, not including Trevor Lawrence. Type ZW for Zach Wilson, JF for Justin Fields, type TL for Trey Lance, or type MJ for Mac Jones. From Mr. Nobody, should the Bears draft Jevon Holland if Tashawn Gibson leaves? I don't mind that one. I don't love him in the second round, but mid to late second, third round I think is probably about the right range, so I wouldn't be opposed to that. And I do think that Holland, if you want to use some kind of split safety looks and even roll your safety down in the nickel corner spot, I think Holland fits that pretty well. So if you miss out on Trevon Merrick and Richie Grant and you want someone who can play some free safety, at that point, I'm on board for the Chicago Bears. From Truett Dollins, should the Chiefs sign Alejandro Villanueva and draft a linebacker? I mean, I'm down to bring in Villanueva. I am curious who plays left tackle for them. Is it Mike Remmers, Lucas Niang? Villanueva is starting to decline, and that is concerning. But the left tackle options for KC are not great right now, so I would be on board with that. You know, Damian Wilson left. That leaves you Anthony Hitchens, Willie Gay. I would draft a linebacker. Maybe it's not even round 1, but like round 2, round 3. If I were the Chiefs, I think that plan of attack absolutely works for me in terms of fixing my team as best as I can. Now, the Newsbreak app, folks, we are available. Our videos from us here at Chat Sports, we are available on the Newsbreak app. So support the show by downloading it today at chatsports.com/newsbreak. That link will be in the comments and in the description. Traditional print media is pretty much dead, and as a result, I can speak to for myself here, have not done a good job in making sure I know what's going on in my community. I've not kept up with my local news at all. The Newsbreak app, though, has been a fantastic solution to that issue. It sends you updates on what's going on locally, both sports and politics and food and weather and all kinds of stuff there. So go download the app today at chatsports.com/newsbreak. You can get local news, weather, and even sports content as well from us here at Chat Sports. So go get it today. That link, bottom of your screen, and it's also in the comment section and in the description. From CODY MARMON, assuming Surtain, Horn, Farley, and Newsome are off the board, and the top linemen, including Tevin Jenkins, are off the board, would Pittsburgh reach for someone like Liam Eichenberg or Dylan Radins? I hope not Radins. That's too early for me. You can talk me into a Samuel Cosme from Texas, and Eichenberg from Notre Dame, and Alex Leatherwood from Alabama, or maybe you go interior offensive line. Does Landon Dickerson intrigue you at all? Just a potential option for Pittsburgh. From ReedmasterJake, Dallas trades down for Darrisaw. I mean, if you move down substantially and like the JC Horns are off the board, sure, but I would not trade down with the target being Christian Darrisaw. I like him as a player, but I think there is a very good chance there's an awesome player at 10, and you just take him instead. Trade down again here from Brady Jones. Should Seattle trade down? I think yes. And I am a big believer in quantity over quality in the NFL draft. Now, I'm not saying get only day 3 picks, but I am saying that the NFL draft, even as much time and effort as I put in, as NFL teams put in, to figure out what players are going to be good, it is still a dartboard throw. It is still a guess. So if Seattle, with 3 picks total, can trade down and get a few more throws at the dartboard, I think that is in their best interest. Now, from a philosophical standpoint, what do you guys prefer to do? Type U for trade up or type D for trade down. Get your votes in for me in the comment section. From Turd Boy, okay. Thoughts on T. Graham and Walker Little, and this is why it got brought up. Give Sam a raise. Okay, I see how it is there. I know Walker Little is the Stanford offensive lineman. He is a very difficult evaluation for me because he's basically not played in 2 years. So in the end, I gave him a 4th-round grade because the perceived talent is there. He hasn't played in 2 years. He's always hurt. Like he opted out. Like I can't value that, even though the upside is very much there. As for Thomas Graham, I like him. I think maybe late day 2, early day 3, assuming you mean T. Graham is Thomas Graham, the cornerback from Oregon. That kind of early day 3 range might be the sweet spot for him. From pjdatdmg, 1963. Bears need to draft Tevin Jenkins. I would love that idea. I think he is a day 1 starter at right tackle. He is going to be a top 20 guy, top 25, somewhere in that range for me. So the value is right. It's a big-time need. I am all for it. Now, Burnin Spades has a super chat just for producer Sam. So I'll let him unmic himself here in a second. Sam, why don't you read the question and then answer while I sip some water? As I'll throw my voice, if you will.
What's up, Burnin Spades? Appreciate the super chat. He said, if the Broncos trade up with Atlanta, what would you trade, and what do you think it would take? Obviously, number 9.
Yep.
Probably another first next year. Maybe one more and a day 2 pick. Definitely that day 2 pick. At minimum, my first offer from the Broncos would be 2 firsts and a second or third this year.
I agree with Sam there. I think Wally looks for a new question. In general, the trade value chart, when you're moving in the top 10, especially for a quarterback, take that trade value chart and tear it up. It is not a great tool because the cost is so expensive because, in general, it means there are multiple teams trying to move up for your draft pick. So, great question there, Burnin Spades. Thank you so much for that super. From Izzy World, why isn't Penei Sewell getting more love? He is the best non-quarterback prospect in the draft. I agree. I got Penei Sewell as my number 2 player. His arm length is 33 inches. That's fine. That's long enough for a tackle. Rashawn Slater's probably faster than him, but Sewell's also 330 pounds. He's huge. Penei Sewell dominated Pac-12 opponents at age 18 and 19. He does not turn 21 until after Kyle Pitts does. He's super young. Yes, he tends to lunge sometimes. I love him. I am not overthinking Penei Sewell. He is a fantastic prospect. I completely agree, Izzy World. From Lemon Pepaloo, are the Falcons going to draft a running back this year? I'd say, yeah, very, very likely that they will. They don't have enough. With Todd Gurley being a free agent, they did bring in Mike Davis, so it's not as big of a need, but I don't think you want to rely on just Mike Davis. So, if Najee Harris is there at the beginning of round 2, I would love that pick. I got ETN higher than Javonte Williams, but if Arthur Smith wants to run a battering ram style offense, I think that makes a ton of sense for the Falcons in round 2, or maybe even if he falls to round 3. Daniel Sharp, Russ and a second to the Ravens for Lamar Jackson. Why are the Seahawks giving up the pick? I know Lamar is younger, but Lamar also has to get paid. So Seattle would eat $39 million in dead money, give up their only valuable draft pick this year to frankly downgrade at quarterback, but be younger and then pay that guy next year. Seattle says no in a heartbeat. From Tiny Uzi Vert, predict the dark horse NFL playoff team. Ooh, good question. I don't want to go with Arizona. Arizona feels way too obvious at this point. How about we go with a Dolphins are too obvious there. Let's go. I'll make some fans or people in the office here unhappy. How about the LA Chargers? Are they too obvious? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. From Sam Lowe, Jets take Fields at 2, then Zach Wilson falls to the Niners at 3. Probably not, but if the Jets take Fields, Wilson is going to go number 3. From William, what do you think about the Steelers getting Najee Harris in the first and an offensive tackle in the second? The draft is deeper at O-line than it is at RB. So I agree with that part, that the draft is deeper on the O-line. But I don't think that Najee Harris is going to be maximized if the offensive line isn't great. So if you can promise me Dylan Radins in round 2 for Pittsburgh, I can take Najee Harris. But I also run the risk of the tackles having a big-time run. So if there's a good tackle there, maybe Samuel Cosme, I'd go tackle, but I think you could go both routes in the end. Robert Bruce says, hello, Sam. Hey, Harrison. Tom. Great job, fellows. Do you think the Patriots will draft defense if they cannot move up from the 15th pick and get a quarterback in the first round? I am bad at mock drafting for the Patriots. They are a very tough team to identify. If defense makes sense, I could see the Patriots going the Isaiah Winner and taking a Christian Darrisaw in round 1 to be a backup. They might get weird if they don't get a quarterback in the first round. From Trenton, who could Seattle get at corner that's the draft or free agency? So top free agents are Richard Sherman, Casey Hayward, Steven Nelson is out there. Those are the free agent guys. In the draft, that round 2 range, Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky, Tyson Campbell and Eric Stokes from Georgia, Paulson Adebo from Stanford is still out there at this point, Ifeatu Melifonwu from Syracuse. Historically, Seattle loves these long and athletic and just tall corners, and Melifonwu fits that one to a T. From Fried Rice, if Pitts and Surtain are at 16, even though it's unlikely, who should they pick? Well, Pitts, but they're not going to be there. Pitts and the Kyler Murray offense would be a whole lot of fun. From the King, name your top 5 NFL fan bases. We all know you're a Cowboys. Okay, so if we know that, then I will leave the Cowboys out. For my own safety, I'm going to put the Raiders on there because I don't want to get killed. I want to give credit to the Browns as well because they've been bad for a long time, and they still back their team very, very well. Let's see. I think Seahawks fans are pretty crazy too in a good way. Saints fandom has stuck by me since the Superdome Katrina game. And I need one more there for my favorite fan bases. I'm not going to do Broncos, Producer Sam, just to trigger you there. I'm not going to do Patriots fans because they annoy me as well. I'll go Chiefs. They've been fun lately in the end.